Anybody here in a relationship? Oh, okay. Let's work on that. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, here's the rule. You're not here to get married, right? Because seriously, I've been married. Overrated. No, here's the deal. You won't get married until you relate well. So I think we might be looking well beyond the mark. So let's just work on relating well. Make sense? Because we could talk about a ton of stuff, and I know, and you've all heard me say this. Who's heard me speak before? Oh my word, I am so sorry. I know none of you have problems. I get that. I do. Okay? But the people that aren't here tonight do. You with me? And some of you have dated them. And so what we want to do is, we have 8 weeks. Now, I'm going to just keep going after 8 weeks, because I can't stop once I get started. But this will for sure go 8 weeks. Is that the plan? And then that kind of constitutes the program that we're doing with Cindy, which we so appreciate. Give Cindy a hand, by the way, because she has put more marketing effort into this than anything else on earth. She's opened her own marketing company. Anyway, here's what we want to do. 8 weeks we're going to go, and then part of the program, the key to this whole thing is this isn't about marriage. I promise you, when you take your eye off of that mark, and we're going to show you where to put it, your whole life will change. Because this isn't about an event that might happen or might not happen or could or would or should. It's not about that. This is about you becoming who you need to become. And I believe as soon as you become who you need to become, you're going to attract some seriously cool people. Okay? And you're going to also still attract some weirdos. Okay? The reality is, but you'll be able to handle those weirdos much better than you've been handling in the past. So, this isn't about marriage, so I want you to have that. Now, you'll hear me joke about that a lot, because that's where I spend a lot of my time. My background is basically parents divorced when I was a kid, was raised by a single mom and 3 sisters who warped my brain. And I don't think normal. I honestly think I have a female brain in a male body, and I really like sports. And I don't know how that all meshes, but I just kind of have learned a lot. And then I went to school and got degrees and just finished a doctorate in human development, so I'm a doctor. And I have a radio show. I actually have 2, not to brag, but one's not good enough, so I had to have 2. And one's on BYU radio that I'd suggest if you have ever heard of Sirius XM radio. If you have a new car and you have a free trial, I'd try it out. Sirius XM 143 BYU radio every Monday through Friday, 3 o'clock Utah time, Mountain time. If you don't have that, but you have an iPhone, you can go get the iPhone app. It's the BYU app, and you can download it. It's on 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock every day on Sirius XM 143. Brand new topics, and I bring in speakers and authors and all of these people, and then I just pick their brain, and we hit a topic every day. Today's topic, we talked about, can't even remember. It's profound. Josh, what did I talk about today?
On the radio?
Yeah.
It was really profound.
It was so profound. Yeah. Oh, it's pitiful. Oh, movies. Media. And how you use media to create bonding in your family, right? Anybody grow up, ever watch The Wizard of Oz growing up? Any of you have memories about that? Scary monkeys? Who hated the scary monkey? They're freaky. Anybody watch Lawrence Welk, by the way? Awesome, okay? My sister got smacked by my grandpa in front of the Lawrence Welk television because she was blocking it. And you don't block Lawrence Welk from my grandfather. So it's interesting. So we just today talked about memories, and we talked about media and your favorite stories and all this stuff. Now here's why I'm telling you all this. Long and short of it is this. I believe in a theory that's called symbolic interaction theory. Okay, you ready to get serious about theory? Anybody ever heard of symbolic interaction theory? SIT for short. Symbolic interaction theory. Here's the idea. This is what? This is a marker, right? It's a Sharpie, an Expo. It's an Expo marker. Positive, negative, or neutral? Neutral. For any of you, is this positive? Anybody have a memory about this that is just, oh. Can I keep that? This is neutral. All symbols in life are neutral. The basic theory of symbolic interaction is that nothing inherently is good, bad, or nothing until you make it into something. Symbolic interactions theory basically says through how we interact with each other, we create symbols. Your lives are then made up of symbols. This is just a marker. Where did you first learn about this symbol? School. Did anybody learn about a marker before school? Did anybody as a kid ever pull a marker out? And in your weird ability, you wrote on a wall? Now, is that writing on a wall positive, negative, or neutral?
Negative.
Well, hold it. For a kid, a black marker on a white wall is way cool. Isn't it?
Yes.
So why did you all think it was so negative? You are all negative. Because Mom and Dad ripped you a new one. And when Mom and Dad got mad at you, that was a negative interaction. And negative interactions create negative symbols. Make sense? Marker's not negative, marker neutral. Bad interaction equals negative symbol. Make sense? If I have a pen, I don't have one, but if I did, and I wrote you a $2 million check with the pen, what would the pen mean to you? Nothing. Give me the check, you loser. Give me the check. Pens are positive if it's the $2 million pen, right? Would you want to keep it? You ever seen the President of the United States sign a bill with like 30 pens? Why does he need so many pens? Sell them on eBay. But what made the pen so valuable? Interactions. Always. All symbols are created through interactions. If you have negative symbols in your life, you have had negative interaction. Some of you haven't just had it. Some of you make it every single time you have an interaction. Or some of you only make it on intimate relationships. And we have a habit of turning them negative. For some of you were little kids that didn't mean to do it, but somebody created a negative interaction with you that may now create future negative interactions for you. If you were abused as a child, do you see how easy it would be to continue the abuse? And not even know you're doing it. And then be bewildered by the fact that you have such negative symbols in your life. I know people that can't have sex because they were abused. An interaction in an abusive way created a really bad symbol for somebody. And then they carry that weight forever. So what we're going to talk a ton about in this program is how we create symbols. And if you don't start changing how you create and generate, if you don't own your symbol creation, then you're left to everyone else's symbols. And if everyone else is a little messed up, then you're left to their symbolism. The most powerful thing you'll ever do in life is starting to own your own symbols. Because, by the way, so symbols are any concept. So here's an example. Let me throw one out. Single. That's a symbol, by the way. Positive, negative, or neutral?
Positive.
In your life, is it positive, negative, or neutral?
Depends on where I am.
Depends on where you are. Isn't that interesting? How about marriage? Positive, negative, or neutral? So negative. How about, listen to this. Okay, just check your gut, because your gut tells you every time. Your gut answers it really fast, and then some of you censor. Don't say that or no one will date you. Okay, you ready? Listen, check your gut on this. Ladies, this is yours. Men. Oh. Pigs. Positive, negative, or neutral? Shouldn't men be neutral or should they be positive? If we're all angels, it would be very positive. Oh, men are so good.
I love men.
Okay, guys, you ready? Women. Neutral, positive, negative. Notice they're all symbols. Divorce. Now watch. Symbols. They come from somewhere. Can there be a positive divorce?
Yes.
I see them all the time. Weird. You think we should just suck it up and slowly peck at each other for eternity. That would make it better. Right? Okay, symbolism. That's what we're talking about. And it's a big deal because this is a big group, right? And with this many people, we're going to start trying to blow up some of your beliefs. I could focus on anything, and I'm starting today on symbols. And more importantly, interactions. If we have a consistent pattern of interacting negatively, and we have a consistent pattern of creating negative symbols, we're going to have a consistent pattern of having negativity in our lives, which will create negative feelings, which will create negative actions, which will create negative realities. Right? And you want to get married? Yeah, there's a bunch of idiots out there. Okay, I think I see the problem. What do you attract if you're negative? A bunch of idiots. And then it self-fulfills. Well, I know, but if they weren't idiots, it wouldn't fulfill that way. Well, no, it would fulfill that way because you're the one that's still going to create what it means. Some of you may have had the greatest angel on your doorstep ever. Yeah, but he's short. Why do I have to have a short angel? I can have a really tall 6'5" angel. I don't know. It's just your angel. So it may not matter what's delivered to you. Or some of you had incredibly horrendous people there that interacted negatively with you. So now what's your responsibility? Find the healthiest way to create symbols with the most unhealthy person on it. And sometimes the most healthy interpretation of somebody that's really jacked up, that's my word, they're going to use it a lot. So everybody's like, oh, he's so jacked up. The most healthy interpretation for some people that are seriously jacked up is that, guess what? They're jacked up. You don't need to be offended by the fact that they're jacked up. They didn't mean to be jacked up.
Okay.
Oh boy, here we go. Here, I knew it was coming.
I'm not getting jacked up.
Okay, good.
That's a tire iron rolling a car. You know.
Is it? Is that a jack up? See? You're getting
Okay,
turned.
so I'm not sure what you mean. Messed up?
Yeah.
Challenge.
Challenge. Perfect.
Am I going to have to do this the whole time? So jacked up, I'm actually going to teach you a whole class on jacked up. You will know jacked up. A lot of you have met him. Or her. But you will know jacked up by the time we're done. Yes?
So do I understand correctly that the type of people we're attracting is basically by what we put out there? And so if we're attracting a certain type of people, it's because of our personality or our interactions with them.
That rude? You're blaming me. You're blaming me for the people that want me. Oh my word. I already hate this guy. I hate him. I hate him. Because it is not my fault. I am drop dead gorgeous. And I attract a bunch of losers. That's not my fault. It's hard to be beautiful. Do you have any idea what a burden it is? Okay, yes, I am. Because you're attracting them. By the way, you're also keeping them. You're also macking on them. Can I use that word? I'll tell you what that means later. You just define that. I'll slow down. We'll do a bunch of terms. Jack and Mac. Jack and Mac. We're going to try to keep it hip for the hipsters. But isn't that interesting? So this is about you. I want you to get that in your head. You're the one that creates your symbols in life. Nobody can hand you a symbol, and what you think something means will never be what I think it means. Ever. No matter how hard you drill it into my head, your meaning will never be my meaning. Ever. We can create our meaning and slowly negotiate it, but they will never be parallel and exact. I mean, they can be parallel, but they will never be exact. Why? Why is it so important that we understand that our meanings will never be exact? Yes, in the back.
Because we all have our own autobiography.
Always. You all have your own autobiography. You all have your own intention. You all have your own assumption. You all have your own history. You all have your own expectation. You all have your own pain body, your own abuse. You call it. You've all got it. It's yours. I believe this journey here is for you. You can keep putting it on everyone else. You can keep wishing it was everyone else's. But I think what we're going to drill into your head today, it's not just them. It's not them. And as long as you keep putting all of your power outside of you, guess what? You will pay. Which I believe is what most singles are paying for. By the way, let me just tell you, this is the exact same thing I would tell people that are married. And I've just done this because 9 years of dealing with people that are married, with everyone pointing at each other, I know in the end, you're all jacked up. I'm not saying singles are more jacked up. I honestly don't believe that. I believe in some circles, singles are seriously jacked up because they're inbreeding. And I mean that in the best way possible. But they're not stirring the pot, and there's not enough ideas in there, and so the ideas don't circulate as much, so we keep our paradigms, our ways of seeing things going. And no one's questioning it. Instead, we just keep blaming the world for how jacked up. You're getting an idea in your head. Put your arm down. So, we'll get into this. And what you're going to also see is I'm going to push on you a lot. And I probably offend almost all of you. And right now, I'm sorry. But grow up, okay? No, I'm going to push on you. And honestly, I'm okay if you are a little frustrated by it. But I found it's called eustress. It's healthy stress. There's a lot of healthy stress. And I'm never going to make you do activities. Okay, we're going to fall into each other's arms, but backwards. Okay, line up. We're not going to do stuff like that. And I probably could, and it would be powerful. And we could do a fire walk, which we will do. I would have done a fire walk until Tony Robbins burned a bunch of people's feet, so I'm not going to. I guess he had a bad fire walk. Somebody actually put fire in it and burned a bunch of people. So we won't do that, and we're not going to do little, drum circles. What we're going to do is I'm just going to give you activities every week, and I'm going to suggest you go home and do them. Some of them are going to be hard. We're going to probably get into a concept that I call dueling commitments. A lot of us have dueling commitments where we have two ideas going on in our head. Like, I totally want to be married. Totally. And I never want to be wrong. Married but never wrong. There's a problem with that. I want to be totally loved and held up on a pedestal. Okay? But don't ever make me do something that is not me. That's weird. Don't make me serve beyond my strength to serve you. Don't make me lose myself to find you. That could be a paradox. Maybe you need to learn to lose yourself in order to ever be held on a pedestal. Because I know people that can hold you on a pedestal all day long, and you'll never lose yourself. Some of the best change I've seen in a relationship or in a human is when they are pushed to the core because their partner had a problem that was never expected and shouldn't happen if he was a good person. And yet, if that person will accept the challenge, it doesn't mean, by the way, we always stay. It also doesn't mean we don't go. But what it might mean is that you just grow. Just grow. Someone else's growth is not your growth. That's their growth. You will never grow on someone else's dime. Your growth is going to always be individual. And so as we get through the program, I want you to be testing yourself, pushing yourself. I'd suggest you do the assignments, they're well tested. They're really fun. A lot of them are fun. But if you'll just do what I say every week, seriously, this works. And it doesn't promise I'll get married. I promise someone they'll be married by 9. Okay? I lied. That's called the bait and switch. You won't be married by 9. You'll be pregnant by 9. I can't guarantee you'll get married. That's your choice. I can't guarantee you'll get pregnant either, quite honestly, so don't ask me for advice there. But we are going to get into homework assignments. You'll take them. We'll start every time at 7 o'clock. We'll end at 8:30. If you need to go to the restroom, by all means do. Don't want any problems here. We're just renting the facilities. I bring a notebook. And here, can I just suggest one more thing? You all know probably 5 people who have already needed to hear what I've said. Okay, would you just write their names down right now? They need to hear this. And if they don't, guess what? That's your pool. What'd you say? Your pool are the people that aren't here. If your people that aren't here have no clue about symbol making and positivity and negativity and choice, guess what? That's what you're contending with. Some of your people are just your best friends. But some of your best friends, they may not, like your girlfriends, if you're a girl, they may not be wanting, you may not want to date them. Hello? You want to date the guys, but guess what? Some of your best friends are the ones polluting the pool. If you're with me, we need to get our friends healthier. We need to get our the opposite sexes healthier so that we have a healthier pool. Let's just not complain about it anymore. So can I just suggest, bring some people next time? Because I promise, and I swear, just so you know, it's not me that's going to make this really cool. I promise, you'll see, it's you. Because we'll have fun and we'll laugh. But also, everything we're doing will tape. And we put everything we do online. And so when you go online, and I don't know if they told you this, I can't remember. But if you go online, you pay $27 and you can watch everything we've done. Our online already are about, I think, 12 to 15 workshops for singles. In Ego and Essence, some of you have heard me teach about Ego and Essence. I have like 6 online right now about Ego and Essence. I have 6 online about dealing in a one-sided relationship. I mean, there's a ton of content already on there. Every one we do, we're going to add on, and then for the rest of my life and eternity, I'll be talking and we'll be adding it on.
Will you be moving to a bigger classroom?
Yes. So if you bring more people next time, we break down the wall and we keep going. And if this gets really big, then your pool gets really big. And but remember, because I'm going to show you, it's not about the people in this room. I'm not believing any of you will marry anyone in here. Okay, I know each other. I know you all. It's not going to happen. But what's going to happen is you're going to all marry somebody that someone else in this room will influence. So we're going to change this whole program by, instead of trying to go find the perfect person, why don't we all start trying to be the better person? By the way, notice not the perfect person. No such thing exists. As soon as we blow that idea up, this is about becoming and being. This is not about finding the perfect partner. Let's blow that up. They don't exist. And the minute you think they do, let me give you one more year and you'll find out, what a jerk. He bites his toenails. Oh, so gross. I would never marry a guy that can bite his toenails. Even though it is amazing you can get his leg up there. You never thought you'd marry a toenail biter. It can happen. So I want you to know that. It's about being. It's about being. Okay, here we go. We are going to talk about a subject, and I need your help. How are we going to do this? Okay. I want you, without too much, don't worry about it. Self-censored. Tell me what we should spend the next 8 weeks on. You don't know, Matt? Nope. I want you to influence me. Principle number 1. Will you write this down? Principle. Are you talking?
I'm talking.
Good.
How to look beyond what we're experiencing into somebody else's life to help them.
Huge. Okay, do y'all hear that?
No.
Okay, well let me repeat it. How to look beyond. present experience. That's cool. And then you said, but how to look beyond our present experience and how to get into someone else's life.
But to help them, not to get in there and mess with their head.
Oh, what's that about? Get into others' lives. Life to help. Huge. Anybody need that one? Okay. What else do we want to work on? This is your baby. Please.
You talked about becoming the right person. I'd like to talk a little more about that.
Huge. Yep. Being or becoming. I love the word being. Being. What kind of being are you? What are you becoming? What are you being? What are you becoming? Is that important? Who you are is the number one attractor. Not what you wear. Not what you drive. And not your sizes. It's who are you? And the problem is, we'll get into it, stories, and our stories are really big in who we are. I'll show you. It's pretty cool. This is more being, is more changing from the inside out. And you know what's so cool about it? It gives you hope. A lot of times I found singles they lack hope. Have any of you noticed that? They lack hope because they've tried everything. I've been to every dance that exists, and they're horrible. And I don't go to bars, but I'm starting to think I will. So where am I supposed to find somebody? So we think we've tried everything, and I want you to notice something. The power, and I'll try to shift it in some pretty cool ways. The power to find and to be the right kind of person and human is not out there. It will always be right here. Always. By the way, your power to find peace in what you're dealing with is right here. It's already there. And I'll guarantee, if you'll let it in, you'll already have all the peace you need to feel the peace in your trial. I guarantee it. It's already right there. But what we do is we look outside. You know what? If I had Jenny Craig, I'd feel better. Any of you done that one? Or Weight Watchers? It's not Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers. By the way, I'm not saying they can't help. They totally can. It's just not your answer. Your answer will be you. By the way, when Jenny Craig works, it's because you're being what you need to be, I guess physically. It's when you finally align. By the way, when Jenny Craig works for a while, it's because you're semi-aligned. And then when you kick out of it, and then you go have a binge of chocolate Haagen-Dazs ice cream, then you're no longer it. And that makes you bad, right? Not bad, just bad. I don't think I'm bad. I'm just fat. No, you're not. Oh, no, I am. No, you're not. You're not fat. But look in the mirror. You're not. It's not. You're not fat. You are beaver, not fat. You are amazing. Amazing. You to get here took 1 trillion cell divisions. That's amazing. I'm going to get technical. From mommy's egg and daddy's sperm came you. 1 trillion divisions later. And you're like, I'm a loser. I was not only the only sperm that made it, I also divided 1 trillion times. But I'm fat. You're fat. Are you kidding? You are phenomenal. Not to mention what I believe is inside of you, which is this essence of this incredible being of God. And you're mad about your hair. I don't have hair. I used to have hair in my first, second, and third marriage. But now I don't have hair. So now what we're mad about is our lack of hair. Because I'd for sure be married if I had hair. Right? Because everyone wants someone with hair. Even if they're horrible, evil spawn of Satan, we want them. His hair is amazing. Isn't he the one that runs people over in the driveway? Yes. But have you seen his hair? That's stupid, right? That's just how it works. So we're going to work on being and becoming. What else do you want to work on? Not you, because I know you don't need it. I know that. But your messed up friends.
You mentioned finding a bigger pool, or whatever you
Yeah.
the
Bigger pool.
increasing the.
Yes.
Decontaminating your pool.
Ooh, gosh. That sounds dirty. Big pool, bigger pool. Okay, let's say here. Decontaminating. That sounds gross. Decontaminating pool. Okay? Please.
One thing to that,
Yes?
and stop inviting the same kinds in, like attracting the same kind of people
Ooh, so attracting different people.
into your pool.
This is getting hard. Okay, good. You've all heard of the law of attraction, right? It's a secret. Shh. Don't let everybody know about the secret. I love the secret. I think it's a really powerful principle. It's one really powerful principle. We're going to teach you about 50 more. There's more than one principle in life. Okay? Attraction's brilliant. But so is law of the harvest, which is what you reap what you sow. That's another principle. So to have attraction, you also have to earn and reap what you sow. There's also a principle of character. Ah, jeez. Now there's too many. And there's only one that's a secret, apparently the attractor. The rest are pretty obvious and open. And attraction is not a secret, and I'm even going to show you. I think most of you already know it. You've been living it in your life all the time. What else do you want to talk about? Not you, for your neighbors. Yes?
Letting go of the past.
Ah.
Letting go of, the story.
Letting go of the story. Cool. Stories hold us, don't they? Stories can totally bind us down.
Maybe this is the same thing, but the feeling of failure and ruminating over it constant.
Huge. Ruminating over failure. Huge. Do you think that could keep you stuck? By the way, do you think ruminating over your failure is serving you somehow? I believe everything serves you or you wouldn't do it. You're pretty efficient beings. It serves you to ruminate over your failure. What might that help you not, help never happen again? Another relationship with failure. So ruminating might be serving you. That's called a dueling commitment. What if you want, I really, oh my gosh, I so want to find another one. I just never want to fail. That's called a dueling commitment. Now, so here's what we're going to start having you look at is what's actually guiding your action is not usually what you say, red rum, red rum. It's usually, that's murder backwards, by the way. It's from The Shining. And it's usually not what you say, it's what is really the other purpose inside of you. If your other purpose, the dueling commitment, the thing you're more committed to, is never being hurt, do you see why ruminating is brilliant? So you're perfectly aligned to get the results you're getting. It's perfectly aligned. So part of what we have to start looking at is not what we say or what we say we want. By the way, I'm not saying you don't want it. I know you want it. But there might be something you want even more, which is to not be hurt. Is that possible? If you had a partner die or pass away, do you see how important it would be to not be hurt at that level again? So then, it's just easy to get caught up in everything else. And by the way, the dueling commitment, there's the one we always say, okay, it's our stated goal, it's our stated desire. I desire to be healthy and skinny. I do. Yet I show up at McDonald's drive-thru regularly. So if I say I want to be healthy, why do I show up at McDonald's drive-thru?
Addiction.
Shut it. It is not an addiction. It's a pleasure cycle. I just made that up. It's a pleasure cycle. No, you know what it is? It may be an addiction. It also may be a dueling commitment. For example, let's say I want to get as many people through my office as I can every day so that I can be filthy rich. That's not even about an addiction. If I just want to make more money, so I push clients through all day, and I don't take a break, and the closest restaurant to me is 15 minutes away, is 15 minutes to eat, to get through it, to order my combo number 4, and to get back out and seeing a client again. No wonder I eat at McDonald's every day. So my commitment, sometime that I have a duel with, is not bad. Is it not good to help other couples? Yeah. Yeah. We're just full of it. Because we pretend like it's noble. If I want to help other couples and make money, that's different than getting married. I'm already married. That's different than me being healthy, isn't it? So part of all we have to start doing is start noticing what stories we're telling and figure out what's really happening. And it's very easy to tell, just check your results. Because from your results are flowing what you really want. Or the one you really operate, not what you really want, but what you're really operating on. This is kind of theoretical. We'll get into it in depth. You're going to start to figure out, what are you really operating on? Because that's the results you keep getting.
So bring a sack lunch.
Bring a sack lunch. I should. But what would that demand?
More time.
Planning, more time, energy, focus, which would all say that I really want to lose weight. So what I really want isn't necessarily to lose weight. What I really want most is to get as many people through my company. Does that make sense? Now, it could be other things too. So we're going to help you figure out what the dueling commitments are. I'm going to believe everyone in this room would say they want to find another relationship. And if I'm a betting man, everyone in this room has dueling commitments. Something else you want more. And by the way, most of them are seriously embarrassing. Because you never tell anybody. Instead, we're asking, so what's your sign? Oh, I'm Taurus. Oh, really? That's funny, because I'm afraid of fear. I'm fearful, and I'm afraid of being hurt. But I so want to get married. Isn't it funny that we would talk about Sagittarius, Capricorn, Taurus, instead of the dueling commitment? So we're going to have you start looking at how you even choose who you're going to date or who you're not going to date. That's very profoundly based on your dueling commitment. If your job is to not really be hurt by someone else, would you not eliminate everyone that has the potential to hurt you? Right? How many of you just call that a first date? So have you ever done porn? Well, hello, I'm Matt. Didn't know we'd start with the porn question. It's so good to meet you. Are you a gold digger? Well, yes, I am. Well, good. I do porn every weekend. Okay, we're not going to be good for each other. Glad we got rid of that. Isn't that weird? Do you all know people that ask on the first date, so have you ever done porn? Yes, I did. I was 12. And I didn't mean to. I found it in my hut in the backyard. And a neighbor boy had placed it there. I don't know if I did it, but I saw it. Well, get out of here right now. You're a freak. You porno man. And then we go home and we're like, I cannot find a decent man anymore. This dude is doing porn at 12. And I don't want to diminish the impact of pornography. It's huge. And it's probably half as much, it sounds so weird, as being seriously judgmental or being unforgiving. or being having a major self-esteem problem? It's just very obvious because we can check it off. Have you done it? Oh yeah. Okay, next. We don't have a self-esteem check, do we? How's your self-esteem?
Dynamite.
Okay. Come on in. Well, we're going to actually show you what gets us, what gums this up, is the stuff we can't even see. By the way, it's also what makes you king. If you can learn to handle the intangibles, you have power. And yet we all spend our life in this world focusing on all the tangibles. It's the intangibles that give you the power. Like peace. What if you could feel peace in a world where there's no peace? And not just be naive and dumb, but peace. What if you could feel confidence in a world where there's not a lot of confidence? When you walk into a room full of other singles and you're the confident one that is at peace, what do you bring to the room? Have any of you ever seen these people walk in? Have any of you ever noticed that they don't usually come back? Some of them just walk right through. Well, that was weird. They all seem so down and negative. And I'm not judging, but they just seem really somber. What do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And I'm going to promise you, it's going to usually come down to intangible, which is so hard. Oh my gosh. Ah! How many of you are sick of that? Yet we go for the tangible. Is he 6'5"? Oh, he's only 6'4". I just want to look really small in his presence. You don't want to be bigger than your man. I don't know if you heard those rules. You want to be smaller than your man. Well, why don't you lose weight? Shut it! It's not about me. I want a huge man. I want a 7-footer about 400 pounds. So I want to look dainty and petite. Did I just put that on camera? Man, you've got to filter. I don't filter. One of my problems, I don't filter. I just say what's coming to my mind, which is problematic. What else do you want to work on? Please, in the back. Communication. Oh, it's my favorite topic. My wife says I'm not good at it. I told her I have a PhD in it, so shut it. What else should we work on? Please, in the back.
Codependency.
Oh, you want that or you don't?
I want you to talk about it.
Okay. If you want codependent, I can get you right there. Huge, huh? Ooh, I don't know where to put it. Okay. Codependency. Codependency. What else? Please.
Listening skills.
Ah, jeez. This is turning into a sissy word. Listening. Are listening skills and communication skills different? Could be. Do you have to talk to understand? I didn't say a word. I didn't say a word. Did anybody notice anything?
What?
Not a girl. Okay. Somebody wasn't listening. You do not have to talk to understand. Yes, we do, man. Don't tell the men that. Do not tell the men that. The men need to talk, man. You shut your cave hole. These men are talking. Or I'm going to rip them. And I mean, okay, I think I see the problem. Our goal, is our goal talking or understanding? I promise you, that, by the way, it's kind of an intangible, isn't it? Not by. You're going to find out most of the best things are intangible. I know people that talk all day. I have a client in my office that will not shut up. And guess what his biggest complaint about his wife is? She never talks. And I'm serious, like, well, when would she? Seriously. When would she? Our first rule in our first meeting is, because I was so sick of it. Like 45 minutes of listening to this guy rant. I just kept looking at her and she's like, He wasn't even looking at us. He leaned his head back. Right? So when I finally jumped in, first rule, okay, I got a rule. Boy, this was easy. Okay, you're going to shut your cake hole. Sounds rude. It's a technical term. For your mouth. It can also be called pie hole. There's a lot of names for it. You stay right there. Because I need you in the class always, because we need to define terms, always. So I will always come back to you. What's your name? Kathy, you're mine.
Okay.
Right there, because we're going to always define terms. Cake hole. We're going to do my little dictionary. Jack, Mac, and cake hole. You guys are getting this? Dating 101. So I just told them, you're going to shut your cake hole. You are never, ever going to go longer than 1 minute. 1 minute. And she's like, oh. And then he had a big argument. Well, she won't listen. No, she will. You know what the average attention span of a human being is? 24 seconds. If you ever go longer than 24 seconds, you lost them. And if they start like throwing their eyes back, you killed them. So shut the cake. We'll get into communication, we'll get into listening. It's my favorite topic ever. What else for your neighbors?
Expectations?
Expectations. Interesting. Yours, theirs, ours.
Others?
Others. Ooh, that's big. Yours, ours, theirs. Is that how you spell theirs? Others. Yeah, it's big. Number one killer is of a relationship is our expectation. If we keep expecting this and they keep delivering this, that's bad. We expect, they deliver. We expect, they deliver. This gap is called pain. You got two choices. They could pick up their game. How many of you have tried that one? If you would just pick his game up, I'd totally marry him. Okay, if you do these 5 things, I can get a job. 6, sorry. I would totally marry him. Or, watch this. You could lower your expectation. I cannot lower my expectation. I would much rather live in La La Land that is entirely fake than ever be real with another human. I always want to hold them at a higher standard than they can ever possibly deliver. That is my motto. And I'm totally okay with the pain. The most amazing thing is when you get a clue that they will not deliver it, things get very real, very fast. And you either can't handle it anymore, so you're gone, or they'll be like, okay, I'll try. I'm trying now. That wasn't hard. And they'll try harder. You just want them to try before you try. How many of you like to have somebody have an unrealistic, in your mind, expectation of you and then judge you on it consistently? How many of you just want to be loved for you? This shouldn't be hard. I will love you as soon as you do these 5 things and get a job. Of course I love you. I'm here. I'm also very needy and codependent. So please pick up your game because I'm totally afraid of having to go find another one. Or just get real and just get used to the fact that he'll never do that. And I promise everyone of you are like, I will never. I'm going to hold to that standard. The standard that hasn't been met for a while. By the way, why would you keep dating somebody that doesn't have that standard? Because they could. If an angel rode in on a unicorn and sprinkled magic dust on that, it could be that. Well, so you want to marry someone's potential. Yeah. Well, what if they want to marry your potential? Like the potential of the person that doesn't only see the gap but could see the beauty? What about the potential of the person that you could be dating that actually has peace, even when they're amongst other people that have gaps? Wouldn't that be powerful? To have somebody that can feel peace, even when you have a gap, and can be a light, not a critic. Don't you think that right there would start to attract different behavior? No one in this room, you all date, I know you've all dated that way. Not you, but your neighbors, you've heard about it. You've all had somebody judge you for not being good enough. Haven't you? Have you not been rejected? That's not what we want. That's not what we're after. That's not our goal. You guys hear? You guys hear that? I thought I heard an angel.
Can you sometimes lower your expectations too much?
Yes, to hear the question, can you lower your expectations too much? Well, no, let's just be real. Expectations in marriage, for example, they don't have to go hand in hand. You're just dating people. You can lower your expectations all you want. Here's the point. If there's a mismatch of expectation, meaning what you want and they'll actually deliver, that's pain for you. As soon as you get real and recognize what they will deliver, you'll have less pain. Now, you may not like it, because now he's a loser. He's a loser. I know. He's been a loser for 4 years. You just keep thinking he's going to pick his game up, and he doesn't. He's a loser. The idea behind it is the faster you'll get to real, the faster you can what? Move on. So that's part of codependency, is we keep trying to drag him up the hill, which makes sense if you're already married to him. And by the way, we'll talk about this too. I think most singles need to do more and date longer. Even some of these. I think a lot of you give up way too easy, which means none of you are really good at second inning. You're all good at the first inning. Any pitcher can probably pitch a good game in the first inning. It's the 5th and 6th and 7th innings that get harder. So I would just say, let's build up some endurance. Well, what if they're a scab and gross and disgusting human being? Why are you picking them? Well, they picked me. Okay, don't let them do that. Stay away from them. Are we judging them? Sure. You're judging them all day long. Question.
Okay, so along with that, is it considered codependent or pathetic?
Okay, one's a term, one's like a mental health term. One's just a really negative comment.
I'm seriously curious if, because you're saying like this thing, is there a point where, like, let's say you've really given it your all and you're saying they're still not doing that or whatever?
Yeah.
Is there a point where you're just need to say that is how it is? And
Sure.
I'm okay with it? Like,
Absolutely.
you have to be okay with it?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
is that codependent, even if you want him to be something a little different?
It's a great question. You heard the question?
That makes sense.
No, it made no sense. So that's great. No, it was perfect. It really was good. No, it was so good, and I'm sorry, that was rude. Bad. That was really a good question. So watch. What are your choices anyway? Change him? Nurse him?
No, I'm not changing.
Right. Oh, is changing him a choice?
No.
Yes.
You work on you.
Hold on, let's watch. Let's get our words all right here. Is changing someone else a choice you believe you have?
So lots of people believe it.
I'll bet you 3/4 of this room believes it. I promise you. Now, by the way, how many of you know it doesn't work?
The people on the back row know that you can't change it.
Okay.
We're all
Okay.
shaking our head.
But none of you tried that, right?
We tried.
Weird. So why would you try if you know it doesn't work? What's that called? No, let's give that a name. Ready, Kathy, is it? That's jacked up. Okay, so jacked up is to keep trying something that you know doesn't work. But this one's different because she's a blonde. No offense, blondies, but it might work on the blonde. Right? So I want you to know, the dueling commitment is the belief inside that maybe they would still change. What happens when your happiness is not based on their change? All of a sudden, I'm no longer, so that gets back to the codependent question. I'm not codependent if I'm not dependent on you changing. I'm codependent only when I need you to change to be whole. When I am finally whole, with or without you, I am no longer codependent. I'm now independent. I'm now independent of you for satisfaction, for peace, for joy, for hope of my future. My future is not bound in you. My future is bound in me and my essence, my God, and my light. Not you. Never will be.
Great.
I just blew up the marriage myth. I don't believe there. Are you, Kathy? Do you have another word question?
Comment.
Get it.
I was married to a Marine who was a Marine for 10 years, a cop for 24.
Oh boy.
And I lived like this, and we had a wonderful marriage, and he passed away at age 52. But we had a good marriage because I never expected anything.
Yeah.
And he came up.
Should you expect something from somebody? Sure. And it's not where your peace comes from. It would be neat if he would, and apparently in your case he did. But your confidence should not come from his movement. You buy that?
Yeah.
Yes.
What happens the minute your confidence comes from someone else's movement and abilities? It's hard, isn't it? Now, what's powerful though is if they would choose to, in an independent way, like the back row's prophesying. That's powerful. Power is when two people choose to be independent and work together. That's called interdependent, which I'm betting is the goal of everyone in this room. But you remember, if I back this up, I'll bet you most of you that's not your goal. You're not thinking, I want to be interdependent with another human being. That's not your goal. What your goal is, I want to get married by October. It can happen. Can I just give you a secret as a guy that works with married people? You're jacked up. You know why? Because if you get married to someone and you are dependent, what marriage would you create? Don't try to get married till you're an independent being. Now let me just blow that up a little bit. I am independent. I have my own condo, and nobody's going to steal my equity in my condo. Okay. Well, okay. Gosh. It's not about your equity or your ability to have a condo or to have a job with a lot of money, because that's not what it's about. So you being independent, by the way, we in America, we declared our independence. Dang it. I'm independent. Is there a problem with being too independent? Yes. Why on earth would I need another? I've got me. All night long. It's visual, isn't it? I'm a very visual person. I don't need others if I got me. How about being married to that guy? He's sure happy with himself. He just takes a long bath every night. We don't need a lot of independent people as the goal. Your goal I would not set as being independent. Your goal should be interdependent. Meaning, I've reached the state of independence emotionally, physically, socially, spiritually, financially. I'm independent. I can act with or without you. And now with my ability to be independent, I choose you. And my confidence does not come because you have no problems. My confidence comes because I know how to deal with your problems. My confidence comes because I am whole. That is the goal of this class. This class does not create wholeness with you unless you work on wholeness over time. It will not happen tomorrow. But tomorrow, you'll feel more whole. It'll happen with every class a little bit more because wholeness takes time. But I promise, if you stick with it, you'll feel your character change. You'll feel your confidence boom. One of my favorite quotes of all time, and if you've ever heard me speak, you probably heard me use it. It's by a guy named Victor Hugo. Anybody heard of Victor Hugo?
Yes.
Okay, he wrote a book called Les Miserables. which a lot of people pronounce wrong. But it's about a bunch of miserable people. But one of his quotes, and don't try to write it down, it's really long, but it is in my book if you want to find it. You can look it up. But here's the quote, okay? We must be like the bird. Listen to this. This is independence and interdependence. We must be like the bird who, halting in its flight on a limb too slight, feels the limb give way beneath him, yet sings, knowing that it hath wings. One more time. We must be like the bird who's about to land on a limb that can't hold it. The bird is about to land somewhere that will collapse underneath him. And when he lands on the limb and the limb breaks beneath the bird, what does the bird do? In the midst of collapse, he sings. Why does he sing? Because he has wings. Where does the bird's confidence come from? His ability to fly. His own within him. His ability to fly. Which, by the way, are principles. Lift, drag, thrust. The bird knows them intimately. His confidence is because he knows principle. Not because he has wings per se. If I took a pilot and a bird and hung them out over the Grand Canyon, one of them is going to sing. And one of them is going to cry for air. Pilots fly planes. Birds fly principles. If you want to have independence, know the principles. Master the principle. Don't just master a process. Processes don't make you strong. Principles do, because then I can realign my process when I need to. What do you want to bet every one of you would have to realign your processes in your life about 50 times? What do you do when your partner dies? Right then you might notice, I am not independent financially, or socially, or emotionally. I don't even have my own friends. If my wife died today, I'd have no one, except 6 kids. Right. Who's going to take care of them? But she has the friends. She has the network. She tells me where I'm going to be eating dinner. I know this Sunday where I'm going because she planned it. I actually know where I'm going in 6 months from now because she planned it. I'm not independent in planning. I'm very dependent. And by the way, sometimes in our marriage, that's fine. I'm very dependent, by the way, on Delta Airlines because I don't know how to build an airplane, or fly one, or maintain one. So there's times I'm totally willing to be dependent. There's other things I can never be dependent on. How about my own spirituality? That's mine. How about my own integrity? That's mine. How about my own character? How about my own honesty? How about my own safety? I can be a little dependent on others for my safety, but in the end, it needs to come from me. Physically, socially, emotionally, mentally, financially, spiritually. That's what we're going to get into. And as soon as you have the confidence to be independent, you can actually handle somebody that's still dependent on you. You can live in a relationship, if you're independent, with somebody that's dependent on you. And what you'll start to do as an independent is create systems to help them grow. Now, what gets scary is when two people are dependent, because there's no one to help it grow. And the minute this one grows, this one pulls it down. This one grows, we pull it down. We don't want growth. So my goal of the program, and you'll see, I'm going to show you a model right now, is that you get independent so that you can choose interdependence. It's huge. By the way, it takes no one else in your life to become independent. Now, you'll still interact with people constantly unless you go to some, cave. But the reality of humanity is you're going to be dealing with people. And I believe it's people that create the pressure and the stress to create independence. It's then, instead of turning away from them with your independence, it's when you choose to turn back and work with them, you now forge interdependence. I think one reason as singles we end up repelling each other is because we know the other's not independent, or we know they're dependent. Because they're so free. Where were you last night? Cindy Marie Ford. What's your middle name, Marie? I just made it up. It's Marie. So where were you? Were you off with another guy? You were off with another guy. We have dated twice, and you're already off with another guy? There's no loyalty. Right here. You have the confidence to just be you. Well, so you're saying we're not supposed to feel? No, you can feel. I want you to feel. I want you to feel. I also want you to be willing to let it go. How can you hold something you're not willing to let go? How can you truly love something you're not willing to let go? Would you let someone die? Or would you love them back to health? Isn't that a risky proposition? I can't just let you die. What choice do you have? Just how I respond to your death. That bites. So to the degree that you can suffer the pain is to the degree that you can suffer the joy. Are you independent to handle the pain and the joy? And once you've built that huge well, then I believe you'll be prepared to fill it. A lot of us, I think, we want to have this level of relationship that none of us have the character to sustain. I'm not just talking about you, I'm talking about me. How close can I get to my wife if I'm not willing to lose myself for her? I'm not going to get close. But if I'm too afraid of being hurt, then I'm not even going to open up to her. If I don't open up to her and risk that, how close could I get to another human anyway? So a lot of the work we're going to do is about digging these places out. I can't remember the word. There's a great word about that. Oh, it's profound. It would have changed your life forever. But I believe sometimes you're just carving out stuff. That's Michael Wilcox teaches this. Sometimes you're creating the space to hold the blessing. And you can't have the blessing delivered until the space is prepared. So inside of you in this class, for the next 8 weeks, we're going to be creating space. So remember the word space. Okay? Anybody else have anything else they want to throw up here? I'll throw up. I shouldn't use that word.
The role of fear in ourselves and relationships.
Love that. Fear is huge. Fear equals ego. And in my book, and I'll teach you that. Ego edging God out. You've heard Wayne Dyer teach that. Fear. Fear is the absence of essence. When you're in your most basic human self, you will feel fear. You'll also feel shame, guilt. You'll run, you'll hide, you'll do all these things. When you're in your essence, the fear will just disappear. We'll talk about ego and essence. It's my favorite topic on it. Yes, sir.
Matt, I don't know if you run across this much with singles. I see a lot of singles with a distorted self-dimension.
Oh, sure.
They're 60 years old, but they think they're 40.
Oh, yeah. Till their hip goes. Did I say that out loud? Distorted self-image. Oh, it's so true. Now, by the way, what would that be a sign of? Why would I need to distort my image? That's it. I don't like me. So I'm not 60. I'm 30-ish. With hips of a 60-year-old. I say, I'll teach you. That's ego. Your ego's rejecting you, not your essence. Your essence knows exactly who you are. You're powerful beyond measure. But I've got gray hair. Yeah. And you have incredible power and light. Well, I'm not. No, you're not. Oh, you are. But not. It's not who you are. It's this natural identity of who we think we are. So if I think I'm my body, that's why I would distort, right? I just start cutting and... Okay. Distort. Let me define that. Yeah. No, what was your question?
What you're saying here is we have power just to be who we are.
Oh, yes. Did you hear that? Yeah. What other power do you have to be? You can be her. It just may not work. You can be who your dad thought you should be. You can be who your husband, before he passed, thought you should be. or you could just be who you are. And the minute you get out of what everyone else thinks you should be and back into who you are, guess what you're going to have immediately? Power and peace. There you are. And what you'll notice in the mirror won't be your fat. You'll notice your what? Your talents, your gifts, your abilities, your peace, your skills. Now, this sounds utopic. I understand.
It's the gospel.
It is a gospel. There's other gospels. There's the gospel of McDonald's. There's a million gospels. And I believe that there's a God, and I believe the God when He's in you, and I believe you all have felt it. And I won't get preachy because I believe every religion teaches this. But when God is in you, you feel one. And it might be in the weirdest little moment when you're just rocking your cute little baby at 3 in the morning, and all of a sudden you just feel peace. I had the most beautiful experience. A lady, I was teaching this ego and essence idea, and a lady says, "Oh my gosh, I get it." This peace idea of when she's aligned with her ego, with her essence. Not aligned into her body of what she thinks she's supposed to be, and her mind of what everyone's told her she is. But her essence is who she is as a daughter of God. She says, when I'm finally aligned to that, she goes, "Oh my heavens." So she has 2 disabled children. Severely disabled, one of them. And she says, there is something when I am just sitting with these children that are so disabled. And I say, "What do you mean?" She said, "I feel complete peace and oneness." By the way, why would a challenged, mentally challenged, physically challenged person bring so much peace? Because they're operating from essence. Somebody that's been challenged, their mind didn't buy into every story that's been told. So they probably honestly are operating from pure spirit. And when you're in their presence, notice the weakest among us become the strongest. And if you notice it, now by the way, is that not attractive? Have you ever just dealt with a little disabled child and you just immediately get sucked into him? Isn't that the most amazing thing? Or have you ever just sat there and seen someone else that was just totally weak, hurt, sick, dying? How can we get sucked into it when they're dying? How can we all find the peace then? We're going to show you this. When we push you to the extremes, you naturally defer to essence. If I pushed you to death, you'd go to essence. You'd feel it. If you had to watch someone die, you'd go to essence. If there was nothing else on earth you could do with somebody, because you couldn't help them, they were just dying in your hand. Some guy gets hit on a bike and is in the middle of the road, and you run over, and you're just with him for the last few minutes of his life, you would feel something. And as you thought about it for years, you'd still feel something. And by the way, can you feel it now? Not weird. That's your essence. Some would say that's spirit. Some would say that's the light of God. Some would say that's the Holy Spirit. Some would say that's divinity. Whatever you call it, I call it essence. And I believe that essence is you. And so if we keep playing every other game that every single on earth plays, and by the way, every other human on earth plays, you're going to miss your essence. So why on earth would you want to be in your ego with somebody instead of being in your essence alone? So before we go try to get in our essence with someone else, let's get in our essence alone. And once we've mastered that, then let's worry about getting in with someone else. Make sense? And think of this. How many little 20-year-old pumpkins have you seen get married and they just blow up? And they just turn into frogs. You're not even a prince. And this isn't even a carrot, it's a pumpkin. To me, that's the symbol. Cinderella, there's a timeline for how long she can fake it. Remember? We can only make it so long. That's ego. Eventually, you can't fake it. You'll either be independent or you won't. Meaning independent in the essence or you won't. So, that's what we're going to get into now. Any more, and then I got to just teach one more thing. Yes?
Turning negative thought processes.
Love it. Negative thoughts, so we call that negative thought selection or detection. Positive thought selection. Negative thought detection, positive thought selection. Let me teach you one thing. This is the whole key to everything I do, and then you'll see throughout the next 8 weeks we're going to get into these areas, okay? Here's what I believe. I believe that you are one. You're one. By the way, when I say you, I'm saying in my mind, I'm saying your essence, you, is one. I'm not saying you, your beautiful body, your abs, your buns of steel. I'm not saying that. You, your essence, is one. Every one of you will bring one to the show. You. My car? You, your essence. When you have the power with another one, our goal is to take two independent ones and help them to equal more together, right? We want more together. We don't want to just be married, well, some of you might. I really want to blow that myth up. Don't focus on the paper. Focus on the principle. Get relationships, get independent, get strong. But when you are one, a whole one means you're independent. When they're a whole one, together, you can equal 50. That has a name. What's that called? Synergy. Aristotle taught it. Stephen Covey did too. I'll go with Aristotle first. Aristotle said, the sum of the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. That's the first definition of synergy, okay? Sum of the whole is greater than the sum of its individual parts. These two should never get more than one or two. But 50? Okay. Now watch where the power of this becomes, where this power of this goes. You're still one. You can't be more than you, can you? When you're full in your essence, you can only fully manifest the one that's in you. Now, and by the way, it's a billion times more powerful than any of us realize. But when you bring it, or by the way, even part of it, and your partner, the future partner, brings it, you have power together to create even more. Because you're not bound by all the weaknesses we have. Now watch this though. Where is all of the value coming from? In this equation, 1 plus 1 equals 50. Somewhere there's extra value hidden. Because it's not in you because you're one. And it's not in them because they're one. Where is it hidden?
Would it be the creation process?
It would be in the creation process. Which would be where? In me or in you?
Us.
It's in between us. So watch what we're going to introduce to you. There's another space in your single life that you have to get really good at. It's not you. It's not them. You can't master them. They have to master themselves, according to the back row. It's the space between. There is a space between each of us. I call it the plus sign. It's also called the relationship. Highly intangible. But it has value. And if you don't focus on it, your ability to create more in a relationship with somebody can easily be lost. It is not in you to just do more and be more. Eventually, you're being everything you can be with somebody that's not. In that little example we just gave of codependence. I can't be more for you. I can just be fully me. I'm not going to get into trying to make you different. I'm going to be me fully. And if you can't be you, I understand. But I'm still going to do everything I can in the space between us to influence you with love. That space is real. And it has value. And in this case, 1 plus 1 equals 50. That space has a value of 48. Okay, watch this equation. 1 plus 1 equals a negative 7. What's the value of that space? Negative 9. If you've had a bad relationship, don't always assume it's about them. It may just have been about us. Your confidence has to come not from them, because you can really only still do so much with them, but it should come from you being fully you and your ability to work in the space, the relationship. Another quote I love is it's not the bars that hold the tiger in, it's the space between the bars that hold the tiger in. If you go to the zoo and there's bars there and they're 4 feet apart, I'd leave. Because you will be eaten. Bars don't hold tigers in. Space does. By the way, we don't pay attention to it. It's intangible. Space is what matters. It's not the notes that makes the music. It's the space between the notes that makes the music. Every child I have can play music. Can play notes, sorry. But only a few can space them. Spacing, timing, rhythm, sensing, intuitive understanding of where the notes go. That's what relating is about. So watch what we're going to work on. We're going to work on that space, and there's 4 courses we're going to teach you as we go through this. Okay? 4 courses. So, by the way, you've probably never seen my icon or my logo, but my logo is that sign right there. My logo is the plus sign. Because to me, that is the relationship. And you need to be good and effective and healthy in 4 areas. So throughout the whole next 8 weeks, we're going to get into these 4 areas to some degree or another. And by the way, it's all of this. This is all about you. This is all about what we do in the relationship, the space. And these are the fruits. Not jacked up and mac and cake all that. The bigger pool and codependency. Codependency is a negative fruit of bad relating. It's also a negative fruit of bad, some of us not whole. Okay, so here's the 4 courses. And we got to do this fast. First course is the course on character. Character, do you have it? Character is when you have the power to keep your head in the game. It's a lot of the head stuff we've been talking about. We're going to teach you how to keep your head in the relationships. We're going to teach you how not to think too far ahead and not to think too far behind. It's called staying present. The only place you'll ever influence someone in the space between is being present with them. You're leaning on her, aren't you?
She's nudging me.
You want to? Okay. I'll hurry up for you two. And you can get out of here and go do what you go do. I mean, that's the best way possible. Character simply means I'm going to be in the space with you. You have the character to stand in the space with another and risk your fear. By the way, do they have the character to hold your fear and not crush it? See how much character that takes? Character begets trust. Any of you that have trust issues, you're probably going to see that we need to fix it with some character. Some of you just aren't trustworthy. That would also demand character. Some of you don't trust because your father was not trustworthy. By the way, that's in the past. So that's where we get into our stories that we tell. That's the character section. We'll get into that a lot. The next tool we're going to teach is communication. Flat out, I feel like communication is virtually useless without character. All communication is not what is said, it's what's interpreted. And you need character to interpret effectively. How do you interpret someone you don't trust? You don't. So we're going to teach you how to start trusting. Now, I can't fix everything, but some of you don't even need my fixing. Some of you need therapy. Not to be rude. And some of you don't need therapy. Some of you just need forgiveness. Some of you just need repentance. Some of you need a makeover. I told you I'd shoot straight. I'm not trying to be rude. But I mean, hello. Okay. I know, the essence went right out there. Hey, come back, essence. So communication is my ability to understand your heart, get into your heart, and you to understand mine. Communication creates a principle of understanding. So ask yourself, are you really effective at understanding others? Oh, yeah. Probably. You ever had someone say, oh, whatever, you don't understand? No, I do. Just shut it and say it. What? Shut it and say it? I don't know. Communication is about understanding. Do you feel like you're really good at understanding? By the way, look at how many of these are about understanding. The next one is, once I can communicate and I have character, another tool we're going to build on top of that is called companionship. Companionship is very difficult because companionship means I need to lose myself in you. And when I lose myself in you, I will find myself. By the way, when you lose yourself, what you're usually losing is your ego. When you find yourself, what you usually find is your essence. So we somehow have to blow up your ego. Oh, rude. Well, by the way, when we have companionship, there's something really powerful that comes there. And it's called mutual benefit. Long-term relationships require that we both benefit. How long will you go to Taco Bell if you're not benefiting? Not very long. You get a stomachache every time you go, I'm out of it. I'll go one more time and that's it. I'll be ready one more time. Or you can just keep hoping you don't get sick there. Hoping that they pick up their team. I put in a note card every time I call. And they still have bad service. Not to diss, because it could have been Taco Bell or it could have been, what's the other one called? Taco Time. It could be Del Taco. Now that's manna from heaven, by the way. 49-cent tacos. You can feed a family for like $5. Companionship. The last one is very simply change. You'll see everything I do is in alliteration because I don't have a mind very strong. Change. You have the ability to change. Well, when is he going to change? I have no idea. Didn't even ask him. Just talking to you. Always about me. Yep, pretty much. And when you finally change, guess what you start to feel? Growth. When people are willing to change, we start to feel growth. My belief is you would all stay forever with people you could trust, that understood you, that you were benefiting, and that you were growing. You want to bet? Are you good at that? I am if he is. Okay, problem number one. It's not about him, it's about you. Do you have trust and are you trustworthy? Do you have understanding? Do you know how to understand somebody and not get your character all involved? Can you still show character even with someone you don't like? Can you still be the change you need to be even if they disgust you? By the way, you see how all of these will help us impact our symbols? Because now we're both benefiting. You benefit and I benefit. And our symbols start to change. And they're changing because I have the character to start influencing symbols. And I understand your symbols. And I can influence you with my symbols. It's called emotional intelligence. And I start emotionally managing and helping manage my emotion and yours. And I enroll you into my emotion. And when I see you're hurting, I get into your emotion, even though it's awkward and weird. Make sense? And then once I know what you need as a companion, I then meet your need. And I don't meet it because I like it, and I don't meet it because I'm going to get some action later. Even though that wouldn't hurt. I meet it because it's right. And that's what you need. And out of that, by the way, sparks love. Not the horny eros love, you know that one? It's not that love. What sparks out of that is the love that you are a being of infinite worth. You are a divine spark, as Emerson taught. And when you start to see the divine spark in everyone, I want you to benefit. I want you to benefit. That's why, by the way, I've got an end. That's why Abraham Lincoln would free slaves. Because they're not slaves. They're sons of the Most High God. And there's essence inside of each one of them. And when I see that essence inside of them, guess what? I want you to benefit. That's why Martin Luther King pushed for the fact that we can't discriminate. That's why Louisa May Alcott believed that women were equal. Because if we all have the divine spark, should we all not have the right to vote? And should we all not have a say? So do you see that in the power and in others? And as soon as you have the character to do it and the ability to understand them, you'll start to change and you'll want their benefit. And you don't want it for your sake, you want it for their sake. And then what you do is you learn to grow and you learn to change. And you change your character and you grow your character. And you change your communication, you grow your communication, and you change your companionship. And what I found is over time, this creates a really cool spiral that will eventually teach you, and you will learn to have an infinite relationship that is continuously progressing. With more character, more communication, more companionship, and change. And that will eventually create potential in you that is infinite. This is, to me, how relationships grow. I grow, I give. I grow, I give. I grow and I learn. I grow and I change. I grow and I give. And I don't keep score, even though I want to. And you're a witch. Oh, there. Stop, back it up. You're not a witch. I'm a witch. Nope, back it up. And we start to see who we really are. Okay? That's what we'll get into. Every week we come, we're going to teach just more and more. We'll get into the outline that we talked about here. Plus, I would get online. There is so much you can already go start watching online. And again, Josh, do we want to tell them how to do that?
Yeah. MattTownsend.com.
You can go to MattTownsend.com. And there's a button there that says Get Access Now, I think. And you click on it, and whoop, fill out your name, information, pay your $27. It's $27 a month. You can quit anytime you want. Of course, you will then be single the rest of your life. Okay, we'll edit that out. You pay $27. You can learn as long as you want to go. We'll keep teaching. For $27, if you're an online member, you have free access to the classes. So as these grow, or you can just start paying every time you come. Which is how much? $15 every time you come, or $27. And then you go online. I have about 100 hours of content online. I have women's classes that I have taught that are really for everybody now, because we figured out that we all have the same need. There's just powerful stuff on there, okay? And so then we'll be working here, and in here we're always going to talk about relationships, single life, all of that stuff. But go online and do it. Plus we'll have some computers here to help if you want to have us help you sign up. And if you have any problems, you can call my office. Let me give you my number, 801-747-2121. 801, Boeing 747, Blackjack, 2121. That's the only way I can remember. Anything, I saw a hand right here. Right here.
Okay, somebody handed me a note, so I'm not the only one on here.
Oh, you're not the spokesperson.
Please ask him what Mac means.
Mac Daddy. I'm just going to give her a card.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later. Mac.
We all wanted to know this row.
Let's just say make out. Let's kind of just say kissing on each other, macking.
Oh,
Okay, you're awesome. We're here to hang out and answer questions if you have them. There's I didn't know that. There is a book there. My book. It's my book, and it's out on the thing out there. If you want it, you can buy them at Deseret Book or Amazon.com for $16.95. If you buy them here, it's I don't know. We haven't talked about this, but I'm going to say, because I wrote it, it's $12. I'm in trouble. You gave me the look. So $12 if you want it, or you can go to Deseret Book, and they're great people, and just pay $17.95 or $16.95. And if you want, I'll sign it. I don't know why you would, but you don't need the book unless you really want to get married. And but really, you don't need the book. But we will get into it. We'll get into STAR. The 4 courses are in there, and a lot of the skills we'll be teaching are there. Okay, you got it. So next week, Tuesday, what time? 7 o'clock. To 8:30, I promise. I always go over, but I kind of figure like you're paying, so you get more. Yes, you can leave anything you want. I'll answer questions.
What's our homework assignment?
Homework. Read the book. Just kidding. Homework. Okay. Here's what I would do. I want you to go identify 3 specific examples in your life where you feel in your essence, where you feel peace. Don't give me a generic answer like, I feel peace at church. No, I'm not saying you can't feel peace at church. What is it happening at church when you're in peace? Be very specific. When do you just feel at one with who you are? Got it? Three specific examples of that. And then with that, I want you also to just start noticing more every day, if you can identify one time a day until we meet again, of when you felt the peace. By the way, you can also conjure it up to serve someone. Just imagine that you're with your God. Okay, so that's the homework assignment. Identify 3 specific examples in the past where you've been able to find peace, and then I want you to find one a day. Well, what if I don't have one? Okay, then you're going to have a long week. Got it? There's your homework, and bring it back. Bring it back, and that'll tee us up for next week. Okay? Thanks, everybody. You're awesome. God bless. Thank you.